The on-air sign is on. Ready? Thank you, Seth. Morning, everyone. Welcome to Public Works, Transportation, Public Facilities meeting for July. We will start with Transportation and Public Facilities. The minutes were sent out and are attached to the agenda, so I will accept a motion for accepting of the minutes of the June 2nd meeting.
I move to accept the minutes.
Thank you. Second that, please.
Second?
Thank you. All those in favor, aye.
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 Any opposed? Unopposed, the minutes are passed. And we'll start with Ray Smith.
Good morning. Number 2, highway crews, working on trees, resident requests, patching of roads, basin repairs, small drainage repairs. These are all just things that are calls from our residents that need to be addressed throughout the town. That's why that doesn't change much from month to month, but those are part of what we do. In addition to that, the crews did some large backyard drainage, some culvert replacements. Onondaga was backyard drainage, affected 2 properties. Crews went in, cleaned them all out, put new end sections on. Hempstead, they did streamline Old Troy Road, replaced some heaving culverts and re-landscaped and put end sections on. Whitmire Drive, we did a new crossover that's been problematic for years.
We saw them out there the other day working.
Yep, so that's a complete new crossover. The crews found a way. There was some old existing drainage that came down the road and kind of made a wet area that went to that drainage pipe. They tied them all in, put a catch basin in, kind of corrected a old problem from years. So Lexington Parkway, a few driveway culverts, and we have locations called in for some ditching, which it affects like 3 or 4 properties. So just some corrections there. These were all facilitated by residents that had concerns, and we addressed them, and I applaud the guys. They did a great job on that work. Number 3, personnel update. We currently have 2 grounds workers positions open. We'll be posting this on the website and the newspaper. We do have a few apps left over and just coincidental that were sent in. So we'll be reviewing them, but we will be posting as well. Looking to fill those positions. Those are from vacancies of the few that have left that I've talked about in previous meetings. We also have an equipment operator position open. I'll be posting that civil service posting on the board internally for upgrades within. This vacancy occurred because of the last crew leader upgrade. So that created a vacancy. As always, once there's movement in the department, and we just backfill with them. So
So these people that might apply, they're going to get their certification for that equipment operation. They've done it through the town.
And most of them we use per diemly, the ones that will apply, and the ones that would like to be considered to apply. So, we have them internally. We go through the process and we pick out the best one for our operation. Number 4, parks crews have been working in the parks, continue mowing the parks, athletic fields for the various clubs, and the rec program has started using the parks as well. So with that comes, maintenance to, of course, all the playgrounds and swing sets and pavilions and that. So, a lot of little stuff and everyday stuff last week, we did some work on the tennis court. We had a call, concerns about the fencing. We went down, reinforced the fence, did some corrections there. So just all stuff that comes in on a daily basis. Number 5, yard waste. Trucks have been covering the scheduled zones each week. Just a reminder on holiday weeks. Our last few holidays have been on a Monday, so it pushes everybody a day. Just as a reminder, we still get calls on that. And again, if people aren't sure what zone they're in or if there's any changes, feel free to call the highway and we'll direct you in the right direction. Number 6, town pool. Charlie and Ronnie been working on the pool. Keep it up and running. Thank them for all their hard work, as well as the staff down there and Lori and her team. A lot of work goes into that pool to get that open for the season. It's an old pool. It takes a lot of attention. It takes a lot of maintenance. And I think the staff is doing a really great job there.
They are. I went there myself and visited when they were just before they were opening it.
Yeah.
Had it in good condition and
Yeah.
painting and cleaning up and everything. And now Charlie's got the mechanics of the thing working very, very well. And I know that the pool had shut down for a day, I think, or day and a half, but that was because of a water problem
Right.
in that
Yeah.
area.
And that was just within the town, not so much the pool. But, although the pool takes a lot of work just to get it to open in day, it takes a lot of work on a daily basis to keep it maintained and up and running for the residents. So, and that's everybody. That's the pool staff, Ronnie, Charlie. They go down there and check it every day. And everybody that's involved in that has done a great job. Number 7, the sweepers completed zone 3, currently working in zone 4.
That's twice a year we sweep the streets,
Yep.
correct? Made that announcement at the board meeting. I think they were, as I said, in my zone last week.
And we do use the sweeper when we're doing road construction too. So he bounces around a little bit, but the thing, we try to get it out every day and utilize it the best we can.
Right. No, I encourage people, if they do see the street sweeper in their neighborhood or whatever, maybe if they've got their cars parked, they can move off the street because that allows them to do a better job with sweeping.
Number 8, purchase of a bus for the senior center. Tentatively, Kenny's still working on trying to facilitate a bus, and I can tell you it is not looking well. Even the ones that were available when we first started this process, now they're talking by 2024.
2020.
Yeah, so the build outs for 2022 are over. The one that when we were looking at the van type one, so they had 1,000 orders. 200 to 300 were only being built and sent for them 1,000 orders. So the remainder of that 1,000 orders were going to be back ordered for the following year. So now looking at, so they're expecting a 2-year backlog on, even if you order it today.
And this was after the meeting with the community programs people and the senior staff about the type of
Correct.
van to get, correct?
Right. There was a lot of input on what they wanted, and then we went back and forth to see what we could even get. And now it looks like even the thing that was available a month ago is pushed out to 2024. And I would guess, Beth, even if we signed today, there would be a price increase by the time we got it, unfortunately. So
Here's my question about that. So have we looked into possibly a used piece of equipment, or with that being said, do we then want to look at possibly going back to the van that originally you thought that we might get, sort of similar to the one that we have now?
that's the one that's pushed out to 2024 as well. Because when we did that, we went on hold and caucused what we were gonna get, that van was available then.
The bigger
Since
van.
the one similar to what we have right now,
I'll call that bigger.
but
'cause
non-CDL. We
Yep.
could have shrunk it up.
Okay,
So that was available then. But just like anything else, think of all them people that were looking for the van that we're gonna get eventually. So if the van that we currently have was an option, they've all rolled over to that. So now that has even pushed out to 2024. So it, it's not a good situation.
no, it's not a good situation, so, but I guess we've got to make a decision on,
Yeah.
what direction we should go with this.
I personally, for me, to buy a used van, we have a used van.
Yep,
Are we gonna buy somebody else's headache?
yep,
I say that it would be just my recommendation that we order what they want, regardless if it's gonna be 2024. You got time to budget for it. Use some of the money that you have right now to buy a minivan or a small bus. I say you go back to that. This bus is not gonna last.
right. we
So you're
know
gonna
that,
get on the
yes.
docket for 2024. You'd be lucky to get it in 2024.
Okay, so, the solution would be put the order in for what the vehicle that everybody came up and
Yeah.
decided would be the best, correct?
Correct?
And then in the meantime, we continue to use the bus that we have, right?
Yep.
And I know we had found that they could have used some other vehicle here in the town for transporting if they didn't need,
Yeah.
handicap accessibility or that sort of thing, which is a regular
Yeah.
SUV, right?
Well, they were gonna borrow it from Dan
Right.
and Matt. But they currently use that vehicle, but they just had an alternate way to get around it for a temporary use. But I say, get Lori together with Beth, have a discussion. And it still gives you, if you put that order in for that bus, it still gives you a few years of budget to put a little extra aside to try to, make up for what it's going to cost us extra, correct? I mean, at least you have time to plan and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
So use some of the allocated money you have now to try to find something that can accommodate them on small days and try to get as much longevity out of the current bus we have as you can.
So who do we order that through? And if something becomes available in between the time that we're, may get this bus, can we get out of that? Or once we decide we're going to buy this and get into some contract, or we basically have to wait for that? Are we dealing with a
Yeah.
dealer or
Once you-
something? Or-
Yeah, because they're custom made. So, you get the cab and chassis from a dealer and then, but the contract itself is written through the bus company. So you're in contract with them to get a custom made bus. So, I say, but we can go the other route, which we talked about, like a small minivan or something. We have the money, correct?
We have the money set aside for the bus. I mean, there was a strong opinion against getting a minivan when we were working with the staff from the senior center. They did not feel that that would meet the needs.
Right, that was because of the difficulty for
Correct.
the people to
Correct.
get
Residents
in there
in
and
out
get
trying to
across the
smooch
seats.
through and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah.
Well, that's a discussion for Lori. I just, my work in this whole thing is.
Okay, well, I think your recommendation is, let's go ahead and get an order in.
I would.
Okay,
It's not, they're not gonna fall. You're not just gonna drive around and find one. It's not gonna happen.
when's community programs meeting? They have it yet?
Afternoon at
This
3.
afternoon?
This afternoon at 3.
Okay, so I guess we'll pass that along and,
That would be my recommendation, is get something ordered and hope for the best in between.
okay. Thank you.
Paving list, first round of roads were completed last week. The crews will begin prepping Knott Street East for paving. This is a large scale job for anybody, not only us, but
I think what you and I talked about it before the meeting, that when you do finally get the date on that, we want to post that as much as possible, right?
Yeah.
On the website, and then get our signs out
Yeah,
there.
I was gonna
right?
talk to Matt and see if we could utilize the signs. More than likely, we're already gonna have one down on the corner for the
Right.
farmer's market, so they should be in place. We just have to change the wording.
Yeah, a couple days, a week ahead, this is when this road's going to be paved, so that people have notice.
Weather permitting, but
Yeah.
we're gonna do our best to try not to impact so many people. The timing on this is purposely done while school is out. Although they have construction going on, you don't have everyday traffic going in and out of the school. That's why we did up to the school driveway when we did the circle out front, was to alleviate, even in that time frame, it was better to do it when we were here. So we got that done. So Knott Street East will be both the road and the pedestrian walks, the blacktop pedestrian walks on this side of the road from Stewart's all the way to Van Antwerp. So that'll all be taken care of in this scope of work. I know some of you seen us working across the street yesterday. So as always, whenever we do paving road, the infrastructure is checked. And so there's some drainage issues across the street that we're going to address, open the culverts up, and get a new grade. So start to finish, everything should be checked and done over. I'd like to thank the water department and their staff, the crews, for all the work they did on the first group of roads. It takes a whole lot to put all this together. They worked hard in a timely manner. And you know what? We got a good product when we were done. The infrastructure was checked, valves were replaced, hydrants if they needed it. And as well as on this road, they were out working on the valves the other day, exercising the valves. So a lot goes into it. Just like to thank everybody involved. Number 10 surplus list. We're still working on that. And I know Matt had some items too he was going to give us. So we're getting a little closer on that. Open discussion, low mow at disc golf. So the low mow was completed throughout. I believe Mr. Thornton was happy. I think Laura was happy. They're working on putting the low mow incentive signs out right now in a couple different areas. I picked them up from Laura the other day. So seems I see people down there, so it's obviously people are liking it, going out and looking at that.
The birds and the grassland animals, yeah,
Yep. So
working well.
people are out there. It's a good pilot program. Last tennis courts at Avon Crest. We're working on a purchase and agreement and a final price for that work to be done at Avon. So just to keep that in everybody's mind that it's on here, that we are taking action on that.
We're doing basketball courts too, right?
What's that?
Basketball courts as well.
Yes, as well as the basketball courts. Did Kenny send you the information?
He gave me the contact.
Contact?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that was to do four basketball courts, all the courts that the town owned, to resurface, repaint, and make improvements there, crack filling and such. Anybody have anything else for my committee that you need me to look into or address?
Anybody else for transportation, public facilities? We thought that there was going to be someone that said that they wanted to either speak remotely. I don't see anybody up there on the screen. Maybe that was water and sewer. Dan, do you know?
I don't know if it was specific to water and sewer.
Yeah, we don't
It
know.
was just someone requesting privilege of the floor. Seth, do you have anyone?
Seth, I don't see anybody on. Do you?
No.
No.
It was for water and sewer.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
maybe they'll show up.
All right, so we'll close that portion of the meeting and we'll move into Public Works and Water and Sewer. The minutes for that are also attached. So just to be thorough, I'll accept a motion for the minutes for the water and sewer portion also.
Move, move to accept the minutes for the water and sewer portion.
Thank you. Second for that.
Second?
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? None opposed. Okay. What's that?
Kathy, do you have any more agendas?
Another agenda. Okay. Dan is going to be handling this portion of the meeting this morning. Matt Yetto is out due to a death in family, and we want to send our condolences to him and his family. Appreciate Dan stepping in. All right, Dan.
Okay, we've got an open junior engineering tech position. We had a great interview with a young man, a good candidate for the position. However, we couldn't offer him enough of an incentive to come on over financially. And so we are still looking on that. For the attorney items, Pierce Road Sewer Extension.
That one I think we may have on for resolution this month with the petition almost ready, and then we can call for a public hearing. Whitmire won't be ready for this month. We have an interesting legal issue that we're looking into to see if that will move forward or not.
Okay, so we need a public hearing for the Pierce Road?
We will, yes. We're working on, well, I should say I'm working on the petition, but I expect that will be ready and filed before the meeting, so then it would be ready to call for a public hearing at the next meeting.
Okay,
The city water contract, there's no update on that. Same thing with Dish Network. We're kind of waiting for them to see if they want to move at all. The issue with that was that they wanted us to pay for any time that we had to do maintenance and remove their equipment, and we're not willing to do that. So
right, so you told them that and they have not come back.
they have not come back.
And the city, no response?
There was no response the last meeting. I think that there was some discussion that maybe you guys might call a meeting with whoever needs to be spoken to at the city.
Okay. You and I get together on that, I guess.
We have an application for a fence replacement on Ruffner Road, 1383 Ruffner Road. We have a drainage easement through the side yard of that property, and so we'll need an easement agreement with them for the work on their fence and our easement. Outside users agreements for properties on Aqueduct Road. This is for sewage. The force main that was constructed for the Rivers Ledge project is active, and so we have some residential users along Aqueduct Road that would like to add a personal grinder pump for their sewage to go into that force main.
Do we need a public hearing on that, or?
Not for outside user agreements. We just, I know I've spoken with the residents. I think I'm waiting for one to return the agreement, and the other two are still deciding if they're going to actually do it. So tentatively, there's 3, but it's in the residents, the ball's in their court right now.
For the water and sewer maintenance item, appoint maintenance worker. We've interviewed a few candidates down at the garage for the crews, and we've got one young man that we're looking to issue an offer for, and so there'll potentially be a resolution to appoint another maintenance worker position. And that would fill the vacancy that's left right now down there. Accept a mini bid for 3 pickup trucks. We have been working with a dealership for 3 pickup trucks. We've identified the specifications. We're waiting for them to actually issue the full line of specifications for these trucks so that we can put it out for mini bid. They've already gone ahead and made the order for the trucks, whether we purchase them or not, because they know they can sell them at this point. And so they've already made an order for them. We just need to get back the specification sheet from them so that we can get it out for a mini bid. Over on Shannon Boulevard, we've got a water main replacement project that will start construction this week. This has been a planned project. It was scheduled to begin last fall, but the season got a little bit late, and so we couldn't get it started. And so the contractor is mobilizing this week. You'll see equipment coming in on Shannon Boulevard. Rocco, I can get you full details.
Well, just if we have issues within the right of way or anything, we go through you.
Yes, you can go through us, and we've got a consulting engineer that did the design on it, and so we'll go through that.
Thank you.
In that same regard, I know what's happening with the extension over on Hilltop there. Because I noticed that house is under construction. We have Laura here. What's their timing on that? They've got work to do on that.
Yes, they've got a water main to install. The last discussions I had a couple weeks with Lou Lessie was they were looking at the beginning of July on getting that started. I'll follow up with him again since we're at that point. I know that's when the contractor was scheduled in July. So. For utility billing, we'll have a resolution for the spring residential commercial utility billing reconciliation. I know Kathy's working with Chris on just a few items on that, and that'll be ready for resolution this board meeting. And the first quarter corporate billing reconciliation, Kathy's still working with Chris on that. We haven't quite received all the information that we need on that one. So that's potential, but probably next month for that reconciliation. We have received a letter from a resident to read, and this is in regards to a billing and a late fee penalty. This is from resident Satchel Lumbra of 3948 Becker Street. Hi, Matt. I've spoken with Christine Lashinsky regarding my water utility bill for 4/8/22. The bill arrived in my mail the second week of June, over a month past its due date. I immediately showed up in person at the town hall with payment, but was told I would be responsible for in the fall for the bill with an 8% penalty. I'm writing this letter to request a lift of the 8% penalty for the reason that the bill never arrived until just 2 weeks ago. I'm a new homeowner, and all of my taxes and other Unisky bills are always paid ASAP upon receiving. Thank you for your consideration. Her bill, the total bill before penalty was $304.72 with an 8% penalty. That comes to $24.38 that she's asking to be forgiven.
So what have we done in the past in these sort of situations?
We don't usually waive penalties.
Okay? Because we're not certain that the person, got the bill or the timing of when they got the bill. Is that right?
There's no way to know if the person wasn't checking their mail or if it was the, postal service.
Right. It's unfortunate that we don't have that ability. I know there is some problems with the mail, but we can't, be certain of those sort of things. So we have to continue with the precedent that's been set in the past, which is that we really can't do that.
Okay. Update wastewater plant, organic waste program. We've the digesters are up and going. We made some adjustments to work out some of the issues that we had over the past weeks, and so made some adjustments to digesters, and things are working good. And so we're just about ready to get the first shipment ready.
Okay, great.
Some equipment for tentative resolution, wastewater treatment plant actuator shafts for primary clarifiers, $6,096 plus freight. These are shafts for actuator valves on our primary clarifiers that have the shafts have broken and require replacement.
Was this
On those.
equipment replaced or was this new when we did the work at the,
No,
plant?
this is on the older equipment. This is this is original equipment.
Okay.
The the water treatment plant. Currently, we're out for bid for the upgrade to the water treatment plant, electronics, chemical feed systems, rehabilitation there. The bids will be due this Friday, so tomorrow, and we anticipate having a resolution to award contracts to those contractors at the upcoming board meeting. We have a date set for the fall TV recycling and paper shredding event for October 22nd of this year.
in the email that went around about that, we did discuss location. What are the thoughts about that?
We were waiting until Matt gets back,
Okay,
so we,
because we've had it both places here at Town Hall, and then we've also had it down by the recycle center, so we'll have to figure
Discuss
that out.
that with
We
Matt
have
when he
some
gets
time.
back.
Okay.
Very good. And that's the items that I had.
Does anybody else have anything for Public Works? Seeing nothing. Our next meeting is August 4th at 8 a.m. here at Town Hall. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Motion to adjourn.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? We're adjourned.